Hello and welcome back to Focus Atlanta. Thanks so much for continuing to watch. Again, I am your host, Keisha Lancelin. In this segment, we're going to talk a little bit to the new graduates. There are some do's and don'ts once you want to get into the workplace. I'm here with Kelly Mooney.
Hi, Keisha. It's nice to be here.
Thanks so much for making time for us. I think that our new graduates are so excited to get into the workspace, so excited to get started, but perhaps they could use a little direction.
Yeah, I mean they're eager to get employed, and that's makes complete sense. But I think some of them are making some costly mistakes when they're showing up for interviews.
Can we talk about some basic things that they need to know in terms of preparation for those interview opportunities?
Absolutely. I mean, I'll give some tips. And first, I want to just call out some of the things that they want to pay attention to. They want to avoid vague answers. They want to avoid over explaining. They want to avoid freezing on curveball questions. And they want to avoid not showing up with questions. And so, all that really boils down into is preparation. So, the number one thing they can do is get out of their heads. A lot of grads are rehearsing and thinking all this through in their head, and it's spiraling around. And then they get in the moment and it just, they panic basically. And so they have to translate that into preparation that is not in their head. They have to literally start doing it with real words and spoken out loud to other people. So that's the first big tip, is to get out of your head.
You know what? I think that's huge. I think that when they consider preparation, you're right. It's those rehearsed opportunities, rehearsed answers that they think are a good thing, those are the go-to opportunities. But you're saying, no, 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 get in front of somebody and really, talk this out.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can start by watching TikTok videos. There's so many good videos that show what are the hard questions you're going to get in an interview, and then start learning what those questions are, and then build your story bank. So you want to have 6 to 8 stories where you know the arc. You're not memorizing word for word, but you know the arc of the question and the arc of the answer to the question they're going to ask. They're going to ask things like, what's a weakness? Tell me about how you mitigated it and how you grew. That's what they really want to know, is how you're mitigating a weakness. Tell me a time you failed and what you learned from it. Tell me a time you led something with little authority. Tell me about a time you had conflict with somebody and how you resolved it. So those are the questions that are going to come. And so having answers that are somewhat formed but not overly rehearsed is how you avoid freezing or over explaining, and recognizing that a question like, tell me about yourself, is not a life story question. They're looking for a sharp 30 to 45 seconds that explain your recent background, some skills you're working on, why you're excited to apply those skills and further grow them in this role. They're trying to envision you in this role. They don't want to know your whole backstory typically.
Can we talk a little bit about the differences for young women and young men in terms of interviewing? I think that sometimes we're in a space now where young women want to believe that, oh, I'm going to have the same experience as my male counterpart. And that's not necessarily the truth.
It's not necessarily true. And I think that women, especially, are really, good in school, and they understand a syllabus and how to get A's, and they understand the meritocracy. And then they get into the work environment and realize like that's a different dynamic. And in an interview in particular, they're using, language that hedges, language that is apologetic, language that, we're being socialized to use to make our contributions or our successes seem smaller. So to use words like, I was sort of responsible, or I just gave a talk, or I kind of led the project, those kinds of things that we think we're supposed to be more likable. And so we're being conditioned to use that kind of hedging language.
Oh my goodness. Even that alone is a light bulb moment, I think, for a lot of graduates. I can't let you go, though, without giving us a website. Is there a place that we could go, tap in, continue to learn?
Yeah, absolutely. And I have a new book out right now called Up, and more information is available on my website at equipwomen.com. And we give all kinds of free tips and tools that help young grads start strong.
Thank you so much for making time for us here in Atlanta. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Thanks, Keisha. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Kelly has given you, a bit of a roadmap. I know that we all think that we're preparing in the best way possible, but sometimes you just need a little advice. Sometimes there is a better way to go about entering into these opportunities. Please take the opportunity to go to the website and learn more. And stay tuned to more Focus Atlanta. We'll be right back.